friend. My favorite season is finally showing its signs of arrival here in England, and I'm waiting for it so eagerly, with an almost childish anticipation. I am spending my first autumn in the countryside, and contrary to the city, where you have to seek out autumnal views and nature to truly feel the season change, I can now feel autumn arriving right at my doorstep. Perhaps this season is one of the most controversial ones. Some love it, but to others it's the season of stillness, which they'd rather prefer to pass quicker. But autumn is here to stay, finally, and I don't mind the stillness it brings. It's the season of melancholy I find so poetic. The fresh air which gets colder by day, the bright leaves slowly drifting away from the trees. And whilst the nature becomes more and more barren, it's also the season of harvest. The sweet smell of pumpkin and apples and cinnamon coming from the kitchen, cozy nights in, and the flicker of many candles lighting up the room as outside gets noticeably darker very early with every new coming day. I push myself to get out more often on long countryside walks. I have a few wonderful trails surrounding the village I live in, which take you through the fields of grazing cows and red kites flying overhead. These walks are a perfect escape into the solitude I often seek whenever my mind needs a new sense of clarity. Whilst walking alone through the barren fields, quaint villages and rumbling streams, I sometimes meet people just like me, who set out on a wander alone. We say hello to each other passing by, something I'm getting used to lately as I moved out of the city. Granted, London was too big to say hello to every stranger you meet, but doing so in the countryside, where you meet no one but the occasional stranger set out for a long walk, each for their own reason, it brings the new kind of warmth I've only begun to encounter ever so recently. autumn, just like every season, brings forth its own magic and wonder. It's the cycle of life which we may see as the ending, the withering of all alive and beautiful. But I like to think of autumn as only the beginning, a moment of change and quiet before a new season of growth. It's the time we take to think and feel to the fullest, and realize once more that life is ever changing, ever growing, and there are times when you have to let go of the old, lose something to gain something. Autumn is yet another chapter of a storybook, a new scene of a movie, a new color in a palette. And in these endless days of October, I've set out to remind myself that quiet is necessary before the new journey begins.